Hey, this is Mark from the Action Figuratorium, and this is another episode of Toy Talk. And what I wanted to talk about today was I just wanted to talk about what is or what are Playmobil. So it's kind of cool. If you don't know, stick around. So this segment I'm going to be talking about a company called Playmobil. That is a series of toys that is made by a German company. They started in the mid-70s, and it's a real kind of cool concept that you might equate to something like, let's say, Lego, in that the figures are a generic form factor. I have one sort of right here. And everything is made to work on the form factor just like Lego. Attachments such as hair or hats that go on the hair, different things they can wear or hold in their hands to tell you what kind of character they are, what theme they go with, that sort of thing. And so the idea is to just keep recreating as many figures and play sets as possible that sort of represent different times in history or different themes, that sort of thing. And so Playmobil, which uses a 3-inch figure that they call a clicky, it's their words, not mine, clicky with a K. This is their generic guy that they use over and over and over again. And kind of like Lego or Mini-Mates, as I discussed in the past, they don't necessarily really have a gender in terms of their body. Anything that's sort of female about them is usually kind of drawn on the figure itself in the outfit. That is, stuff is just printed onto it. And sort of by reading that, you can tell if it's a boy or a girl, that sort of thing. I guess recently they've tried making them a little slightly different body shapes in terms of gender, but it doesn't seem to be that much. Can't really tell for the most part. Mainly comes down to the decoration. So the reason why these guys are important to the toy community is that they have a lot of accessories and play sets that look fantastic, just absolutely fantastically designed and created. The majority of the stuff comes from Malta, but it used to be all made in Germany. Now some of it's made in Germany. So it's not exactly kind of like just getting endless amounts of Chinese toys, but they are of course taking advantage of third world labor in Malta, without a doubt. And so even with that, the figures and the toys and the play sets, overall Playmobil is kind of expensive. I would almost describe Playmobil as kind of a high-end item. I don't know if you would consider Lego to be high-end. I sort of think of Lego as kind of middle of the road, and that all the sort of knockoffs, the sort of like generic bricks and Mega Bloks types out there are kind of a low-end version. These guys definitely make what I would call a high-end product, and the majority of the Playmobil toys that they create, the play sets that come in these boxes that always have a photo of the play set and all the figures as it should properly be displayed, that stuff is all sold in Europe and goes to those European countries that include like Germany and Austria and Norway and those types of places, Denmark. And outside of there, it's an export, and they usually wait about a good year after they release a new playset before you can get them in the United States. And at that point, I believe that the amount produced has taken its toll on the molds that they use, and the molds actually do wear out with time. There have been some companies like Mattel who've had to remake the molds for characters like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, several times, not only to hit production quotas to get enough made, but also because they have worn out and they needed new ones. So by the time the Playmobil molds reach the end of their life cycle, that's sort of when you can get them here in the United States, and so they're a little more rare, or I'd say uncommon. There's not as many of them, and they seem to be a little more expensive than some of the other toys out there that are kind of similar, like a Lego. This here is a shot of a bunch of Playmobil clickies that I've been collecting. That what I do is I just, when I find them in thrift stores and garage sales and things like that, what I do is I just take them out and I throw them in this, it's an arcade claw machine that I picked up. And I hope to just have this thing totally full with figures one day. The accessories that you get with them, I keep in a separate bag. I just collect all Playmobil accessories. I haven't sorted them yet. If Playmobil accessories make it into the other drawers I have of action figure accessories, if I can identify them as Playmobil, and after you start to recognize them, it gets easier and easier to spot them. I actually will pull the Playmobil accessories out and put them in a special Playmobil spot. It's my belief that because these things are so collectible and people want them, I believe that that they're actually probably have a sort of less collectors but more intense demand than Lego even. And so I believe that that's all cash in the bank later, that I can take these accessories and I could, if I had to pay a water bill or something that month, I could pull out a bunch of this stuff and sell it off. That's how sort of good these things are. The main thing I want to talk about Playmobil for me is that the play sets, the actual physical structures and stuff that they make, are super cool and look fantastic. I'm going to cut to the desktop where we're doing an image search right now for Playmobil Castle, and wanted to give you guys an example. Here's one. This is from the Clickypedia.com website, which is where you can go to look up Playmobil sets and figures, just to give you an idea of sort of how kind of cool this looks. There is also and they make a lot of these. They make a lot of these castles, but there's also another one. Let's bring this up, that I am looking to get for myself. I think that this is kind of the cool one to have, and this is 4835, the Great Dragon Castle. What it is it's a bunch of sort of creepy old towers kind of coming out of the earth in sort of a ring. Very sort of cinematic, evil lair looking place. It looks super cool. You could just sort of drench the bottom half of this in smoke or fog, or use I actually like to use bamboo cotton to get that sort of milky smoke look for the ground, and this would be just a fantastic thing to photograph. Of course, this is scaled 1/24, works great with 3-inch characters, which is what the Playmobil people are. But you can also use mini-mates within a certain degree. I will give you an example here. This is and this is only recent that Playmobil has started getting licensed franchises to make. For the most part, they just made themes based kind of on historical times, Roman, Egyptian, cowboys and Indians, knights, you know, settlers, and then they started doing like some generic like city life. So you got like firemen and cops and you know, air traffic controllers, that kind of thing. But this is actually their Ghostbusters play set, and this is the Ecto-1 that they make, and it's got some sounds, it's got some lights, right? Very sort of cool. If you see these used, make sure that you have the top is on a lot. You'll see these all the time, missing the top, and this is a pretty heavy chunk, right? This feels like a lot. It's got batteries in it, and you also find them missing the door. If you're going to get one of these, top and door, and there could be also some other missing little things as well. There's some lights and stuff that can, antennas that can fall off. But I got this because I wanted to put some Mini-Mates Ghostbusters, which I have, in the car. Now, it is pretty good scale for the Mini-Mates. It's pretty good. The car is kind of a little big, not much, very close. In terms of this thing, I'm okay with it. The only thing that I do not like about this, right? The only sort of toy collecting regret, you could say, is that on this Playmobil Ecto-1, the doors do not open. And I have thought about maybe just taking a saw and cutting into this thing to make the... It's gonna just, when you start doing that, even if it's like a really nice, expensive, like power saw of some sort, it's not gonna be good for the integrity of the vehicle. So one of the things I'm looking at is maybe finding the Jada 1/24th Ecto, but people want a lot of money for it, and that's okay. Actually, these go for a lot of money too, especially if they got all the things with them. This particular one I picked up used. I think I got it around $22 or so shipped, and it also came with a Venkaman clicky, and you can see that this guy's got the power pack, and the little gun comes around, and it's a piece of rubber connects, and looks kind of cool. He's got slime on him. I don't know. That's, you know, I guess I'm okay with that, but I thought that, you know, I could always just sell this guy off and take the price of the Ecto-1 down again, and maybe, you know, maybe sell it if I get the Jada or something. I don't know. Main point here is that you can use these Playmobil play sets and their cars with minifigures such as the Mini-Mates guys, and they look pretty fantastic. I love the Playmobil stuff for the sets. I actually kind of like the characters too. I mean, I had these when I was a kid in the 70s. I had the Cowboys and Indians set that my folks got me, and I've always been kind of a fan. They are pretty tough, they're hard to destroy, pretty easy to lose the accessories. Overall, I think it's a pretty great product for young kids to play with. You can, you know, do all the playing with these guys as you could with Lego. There's also some kind of building that goes on, because when you get a play set, you have to assemble it. But that is the current take on Playmobil. If you've never heard of them, just start by doing some Google image searches. I know also that if you're looking for play sets to do photography with, the one that I've picked up that's absolutely fantastic is the Egyptian pyramid, which is pretty expensive. Most people who are selling it sell it for quite a bit. It takes a lot of money to ship it as well. Almost guaranteed to be missing lots of pieces from the pyramid. The closer you can get to a complete one, good luck to you as far as just the building itself goes. As far as like the figures and the accessories that go with it, probably never get all of those unless you buy one brand new in the box. But that's up to you, if that's your kind of budget. Anyways, I hope that this was helpful and kind of a cool tip for you toy photo people out there who are looking for everything and anything you can to use for diorama pieces. Again, if you're into, like, say, the 3.75 or the 6-inch characters or even the 12-inch characters, you can use these Playmobil play sets, as I've shown with some of my other videos, specifically the one where I walk you through the majority of the play sets I have, by simply using them as a background thing, you know, like a castle in the background or a pyramid in the background, just something to take up space and convey to the viewer more about the scene and the scenario that we're looking at. So it's been a lot of fun, and I hope to catch you guys all on the next one coming up.